Hi guys, it's Old Dead Man. I've now got a pre-intro to explain a few things you're about to see. Number one, I did not capture the game audio this time. I kind of did this entire recording really slapdash on the fly. So when I changed some settings, I managed to drop the audio. I'm going to record some of my own, sound effects just to get you through on this one. But just understand that's just for goofing off sake, for the fun of it. The main purpose was to show what the Intel Arc card was capable of doing on Linux. And, well, since I just borrowed it from my son, well, I don't have it anymore, so I can't just re-record this gameplay at these settings. Anyway, with those in mind, oh, and I also didn't set up my green screen properly. So the camera's weird, the sound's weird, everything is weird. Even I'm weird, but just be advised that that's all going to happen. Let's roll into the video. I do need to record an intro. By the way, I'm Old Dead Man, your host. Welcome to War Thunder. I'm actually recording this after playing some F-111 here. But the reason I'm actually taking this video down is not because of any of the F-111, but because I'm actually experimenting with the Intel Arc 750. And the recording, well, it's not the best. But it could be a pretty good card with maybe some better driver work or things like that. And maybe some other settings might make it better. That said, compared to my regular Radeon card, I'm losing between 60 and 100 frames per second when I let it basically extend its legs. And I am definitely not getting a good gameplay experience when I'm recording in certain settings. So it's a lot of things that have to be played with and messed with to see what might come out of it. But let's go ahead and watch the gameplay, and you'll probably be able to see as I talk about some of the frame drops and things like that. All right, let me know what you think at the end, by the way. This is a different aspect here, and it's really should be interesting to see what you think, especially with the hardware aspect along with the regular gameplay. All right, this is playing War Thunder on Linux with the Intel Arc 750. You can see in the bottom left corner I'm pulling about 50 frames per second, but understand I'm currently at 4K graphics and high visuals. So I am chewing on this thing, plus I'm also recording as I do so. When I wasn't recording or didn't have the recording software up, I was doing bipping around 55 to 70-ish. Very ish about that, though. So, bear with me as I fly the plane in slightly less smooth conditions. But the thing is that I wasn't getting the smoothest conditions on my regular video card anyway. So let's see how this does. I might try dropping the resolution and things like that and see if that helps. It probably will, honestly. See if I can get it up to a reasonable frame rate. I like the 4K because I can crop in and not lose resolution. But to be honest, I don't do that very often on my gaming stuff. All right. So that F-111 probably has enough to get that one as well, considering it looks like he was doing some kind of a rocket run. He's got everybody all over him. Man. Let's dive down, though, because I don't really want to head on this F5. Okay, he turned away from me. Let's pull it back up and see if I can bomb this thing. He's too far away from my AIM-9Bs to reasonably catch him, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to roll out and go for the next base. I don't see anybody painting me. Whoops. That's who's painting me. And bombs out and roll out hard. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so I've managed to survive so far. That's always a positive sign. See, those are friendly attackers. I sort of, let me see, how many, yeah, I mean, there's one. Let's roll up on this guy's a 6. Okay, he's turning. That worked. Got a Kafir coming into my 6.
Oh no!
Let's keep it in full burner here. He's coming in hot. Now roll up. He's going to try and de-gun me. Okay.
I'm dying.
All right. So not bad. Not a bad start. Let's go ahead and try some settings changes, and I'll pick up with the recording after I do those. Okay. So we're back to this. Let's see. How are we doing? Better on the screen here. Let's see if it does well in the game. By the way, have you guys been playing the F-111? They did a nerf to it just recently. It doesn't accelerate like it used to. And it doesn't turn like it used to, which, I mean, I can understand the turn, but doggone it. If you're going to be this big and bulky, you ought to at least be able to outrun the F4s to get to your base. Just saying. All right, so FPS-wise, so far, it's made no significant difference on the airfield. In fact, I would say it is actively worse. Huh. I might try it in windowed mode next, see if that makes any difference. So you get worse visuals, but no real benefit in frames per second. And while it probably looks pretty good on the recording, since I had to record in 1080p most of the time, it is definitely visually much worse. Compared to the 4K visuals, and I do mean a lot worse. Usually it's not this much of a difference, but if I'm not gaining frames per second out of it, not a whole lot of reason to use it. Overall, by the way, if you are not familiar with the F-111, if you want to get maximum speed, you don't want to fill up the interior pylon. This is the second pylon out with the air-to-air missiles and the bombs. This seems to get me full wing sweep and really good acceleration performance, relatively speaking. That does mean that at this point, taking out more than 1.5 bases is pretty much out. But I think it's a reasonable exchange, considering I can usually get in there and get a base most of the time, assuming the Phantoms don't kill them all. It used to be, the F-111 used to be a pretty decent dogfighter. I mean, not wonderful, but you only get AIM-9Bs, not AIM-9Es or Gs or Ls. And it suffers for it pretty bad. The gun, however, is excellent. There is the option, I believe, for more gun pods, so if you wanted to try and pull some head-ons, or whatever you'd like to do there, also okay. But generally speaking, you're going to be far better off using it in its strike role, not as a fighter at this point in time. It used to be able to outrun pretty much everything, but you will also get up-tiered pretty much constantly to 11.3. So just expect that and know that you'll be doing it. The other thing to keep in mind is things like A10s, which you will go against more often than you should, will also... Oh, my heavens. Okay, he's got it. Okay. So since these guys are already working over these bases, I'm going to go for the one in the middle there at full burner. That 104 is coming back around. Okay, no, he's turned away. Okay. Don't like the MiG-21. I'll bet you that's a Lazar M. A-10. He's got all aspect missiles. The 105 doesn't have flares. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Okay. 444. 4 is where I put my countermeasures. And I got a 104 on my 6 as well. All right. So, sounds like it's time to... Right. Exactly. The other thing about the 104 is as soon as you take any... I mean, the 111 is as soon as you take any damage, you are nearly impossible to fly. The most you might be able to do is a wingtip or something like that. But up tiers, constant. Not good air-to-air missiles. You have minimum number of flares and chaff. I mean, I enjoy the plane, especially when I'm not getting an up tier. But those Phantoms definitely make it a lot harder to actually get any good strikes in. All right, I've now gone to a 4K window, and I'm capturing that directly. Now, the FPS was not looking good when I looked in the when I looked at it on my capture screen, because with this window, it's actually just a little bit pushed down, and I can't actually see it on my main screen. I have to look at my capture screen to see. I'm currently pulling about 51 frames per second, and while that's not bad, it's definitely not better. And it definitely acts much sloppier in the windowed mode than it does in full screen. So this was definitely not a good change. I'll go back to full screen on the next run. But for now, I'm in the air. You do you, bud. I know what I gotta do, and that is I gotta run around the map. And not through the map. The Harrier might make it. I mean, he gets off the runway really fast, but he's subsonic, and it's always a challenge. You know, 54 frames per second. I'm holding a steady 54, 55 right now, which drops, but it's definitely not a good experience on the actual user end. I think it doesn't look as bad on the in the capture as it will. Well, you know, when I get when I'm actually playing, because it's very choppy. Okay, if I go there, can I stand a chance of sneaking through? Wow. Not a happy thing for me. Let's see, we're looking at least... Well, okay, hold on. Not sure what the MiG-21BR is. I've got F5s, F-104s, A's, J-35s. I don't think I'm up-tiered this time. At least not fully up-tiered. Oh, and there's a MiG-23. You can disregard that, because I need to keep moving. Let's get over this hill before... Okay, he is probably going to turn in on me. In fact, I believe he already has. Yep, there he is. Keep it tight to the mountain, tight to the mountain, tight to the mountain. Up and over. Does it? I am toast. Guns or missiles? Guns or missiles? Guns. Okay. Does he overshoot? He overshoots. Excellent. Can I bring... Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me a seeker. Give me a seeker. And fire.
Dang it, missed.
Flaps. Okay, he reversed his turn. Holy moly! I survived! Okay, I gotta return to base. I got a fuel leak, and I don't have enough fuel to do much of anything, so... Okay, yeah, this is not gonna be good. Get the flaps raised. Let's go ahead and ditch as much weight as I can. And where are we at here? Oh, well, yeah, that did not work long. Well. And there it is. Right. Exactly. All right, guys, I just wanted to add one more in here just as a data point. And I think that if I went to some full-scale anti-aliasing on the settings, I'd probably get a really good visual experience as well. But what I've done is, instead of having my monitor set to 4K, I've actually set my monitor in the Linux display settings to 1920 by 1080, then set War Thunder also to 1920 by 1080. I'm still recording as well, so if you pay attention, you can see I'm busting around 79, 80 frames per second in this setup. I like flying and playing in 4K. But if you have an Intel Arc, you may find that you will have a better experience if you drop out of 4K and down to 1920 by 1080. Now, just some tech specs here. I'm running Arch Linux, which is a rolling distro. The kernel is 6.6. As I recall, I don't remember the exact number, but the thing is I usually run the LTS kernel instead, which is 6.1. The thing is that the Intel Arc drivers really didn't hit until I think it's 6.2. So if you have a need to run an older kernel, you may have to, and such as I haven't tried it yet. For instance, DaVinci Resolve, which is the software I use to edit my videos, is very picky about what kernel you run it with. But at least as far as I've been able to see. So if you have a need to be at a lower kernel level, you may find that Intel Arc may be a little too early adoptery for you. By the way, I did not buy this card. This is actually... borrowed from my son, who you know, he actually, well, let's just say he has some thermal grease in his CPU socket. So he's working on his computer. So I borrowed the card. He picked it up kind of on a whim to see what it was like, and I was curious because I've been following the Intel Arc thing for a while now. I'm really curious how it performs. At 1920 by 1080, it's decent performance. You get a good, like I said, this is 80 frames per second while I'm recording. I think overall, I'm pretty pleased with the result. Is it, am I like, woo, this is the most awesome thing ever? Nah, and it might have matured over time. And in fact, there could be other issues with the with it as things move forward. And there'll probably be newer versions that do even better performance and things like that as time goes on. But overall, if you're looking at the Intel Arc and you're playing War Thunder on Arch Linux or something similar, whoops, there is a F5 who looks like he is determined to get a piece of me. But I'm also determined to not be an easy breakfast for him. So we'll just dive underneath him. And an F8 looks like he is eyeballing me as well. Let's just get a good deflection shot requirement here. And pull underneath him. Woo! Bird, 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 bird. And there's his buddies. Trying to make my life unhappy. There goes my flaps and all of my tail controls. Of course. Goodbye. Poof. So I've just kind of going to tuck this in right before the ending. So me and at the end of the video will have no clue about what I just did here, this additional match. And in fact, the additional data that I just achieved. So let me know what you think as well. All right, back to me in the past for the future, whatever that means. So what do you think of the F-111? I can tell you it's got challenges now that it didn't used to face. It's not the ideal airplane in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, you saw that this whole match ended before I could get anywhere close to a base. This one did. Now, a lot of them I do make it, and if I'd probably gone a little bit farther out, I probably could have kept on going. So part of it's me. But overall, that's the situation we find ourselves in with the F-111. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give me the old thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video.